Hello, this is Victoria Suzanne of Lolita Charm. I'm here because I had a lot of requests on embroidery tutorials, so I decided to make one, and this is the first one. This is a tutorial for the backstitch, and we're going to be doing this rose design, as you can see. And I'm eventually going to make this into a sachet cover, which I'll show you at the end if you're interested. So let's get started, okay? Okay, so if you're going to start embroidering, you're going to need some embroidery floss. You're going to need a threader. The threader is optional, but I like to use it. I'm just not as young as I used to be. And you will need a decent embroidery needle. An embroidery needle is longer with a larger eye, and it is, I'd say, a little blunter. You're not going to kill yourself with it. In this project, you're also going to need an embroidery hoop, and I already have a design penciled on. It's a rose, in case you can't tell, and I'm going to make it into a sachet. This is a design from Hanako Lovely brushes. Please don't use it for profit. It's not mine. I just really like it and figured I could use it as long as it's just for me. I drew the design on with pencil. You're not really supposed to use pencil, so do as I say, not as I do. You want to use a blue fabric pencil, which will wash off easily. This won't wash off. It'll just get smudgy, but we're just going to be covering it, and I'm not going to wash a sachet cover, so that's not a problem, okay? So the first thing you want to do is get your embroidery thread and trim it out to a decent length. You don't want it to be too long because it'll get tangled. So I would say about here looks good. It's not that long. Looks about off camera, unfortunately, but it's not that long. I'd say it's about maybe a foot, a couple inches. And then you want to separate the floss into 2 strands. Pull out 2 strands of the 6, I mean. And to do that, I just twist it down using my mouth as an anchor. Take your needle and your needle threader, and what you want to do is stick the metal triangle, diamond, through the eye, and then run the embroidery thread through the eye, and then just give it a little tug, and you can see that it's threaded. Now, when you embroider, you don't knot the thread on the back because it'll make a lump. What you actually do is when you finish embroidering, you try to weave the threads so that they're all underneath and covering each other. So now I'm going to start with the backstitch. Okay, so here we are. You always start from the underside. In this case, it's right there, as you can see. And you want to pull this through, but keep a finger here so that it doesn't go too far. See? No knot. Don't knot it. And I'm going to start with 1 stitch forward, just like this. Okay. And now I'm going to follow the outline. And what you do for a backstitch is you pick what would be the next end of the stitch. Pull it up here. You can see that it's some distance away from the other one, down the line. And you tug that. And if I was smart, I would tuck this thread underneath, and then it would have a good catch. But I am not doing that quite yet. So, and then you pop down here, right next to the other one, and that's your backstitch. So bring it up here. And then put it down right here. Push. And you can use your backstitch to outline any shape you want. It's a really simple stitch. It's a lot like the running stitch, except the running stitch has gaps in between, and you don't want that if you're doing an outline. So here you can see the beginning of my figure. Camera can't focus. And I will finish this. So I realized as I was working that I was going to run out of thread, which you will too if your thread is the right length, and you need to know how to tuck it under. So I've made good progress with my backstitch, and I am going to show you how to tuck it under. So here I am doing another little backstitch right there. And now if you look on the other side, you can see that I have this, which is the trail of the backstitch. You want your back to be neat as possible. My grandmother always says it should be as neat as the front. You really shouldn't be able to tell a difference, but that might be superhuman beings like her. So now you want to pick up underneath one of these stitches without piercing the fabric. There, like that. And then just draw it under a couple times. And there you have it. So when you go to start your next piece, you can either do the same here, which is I embroidered over the back thread, or you can start by running it under this thread here. It doesn't really matter, but that is how it will look when you go to change threads. That's also how you change colors. And that's it. So here you can see I finished my rose. It's all done. And I'm going to show you the back. It's not perfect, but here it is. You can see it mostly looks like the rose. I have a couple threads that could be better, but here's the right side. Here's the back. And I hope you had fun learning the backstitch. Okay? Bye-bye.